Running a business comes with a lot of what ifs, but luckily there's a simple answer to them. Shopify. It's the commerce platform behind millions of businesses, including Thrive Cosmetics and Momofuku, and it'll help you with everything you need. From website design and marketing to boosting sales and expanding operations, Shopify can get the job done and make your dream a reality. Turn those what ifs into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
This episode is brought to you by The Farmer's Dog, a service that delivers gently cooked, freshly made pet food straight to your door. Each balanced recipe is developed by board-certified nutritionists and clinically proven to support healthy aging. The Farmer's Dog, guided by science, driven by love. New customer? Get 50% off your first box at thefarmersdog.com/Spotify. Plus, you get free shipping.
Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss show. Kind of late right now. Should be heading to bed, but no, I was like, let me record this episode. I guess if people wanted to push out this narrative that I am just a robot hater, I have no reason to hate on him. You know, this might not even be a full episode because there's not much to say about him besides what we already know. You know, but I feel like that is a question that needs to be discussed. Overall, am I just a robot hater? No. And I want to explain why, but I mean, at the end of the day, if people want to paint out that picture, they can go ahead and do so. Like, I'm not going to try to convince people. It's either you believe me or you don't. But yeah, it's like there's people that already have their mind made up. There's fans of his that want to, you know, keep hope alive and all that crap. But I'm like, look, bruh. There's bigger and better things to be worried about, you know, and even during that time frame of when the drama was really active between us, still, like, I had no reason to be a hater of his. Now, I can say that, yeah, I wasn't a fan of his content, but it was just more so because it was mediocre content. It wasn't content worth hating on, you know, like, there's content out there that's like, you know what, let me actually, you know, stop myself before I say anything else. You shouldn't really hate on content at all. Like, there's no reason to hate on somebody or knock somebody down for whatever it is that they're doing. It's just the way that they're doing it. I feel that, yeah, it can be different, but at the end of the day, that's one of those things that they have to, you know, do to themselves. They have to change up who they are as a content creator. And if they don't, then yeah, you know, one day they will meet their ultimate ending like just a robot did. And so that's why I'm like, I don't waste my time hating on a person, because I guess that would be a much more better question. What do I overall gain from hating on just a robot, especially now? Like, you would have thought that, like, back then I would have had a legitimate reason to hate on him and do hate videos on him and all this other stuff. But I'm like, what do I gain from it? I gain nothing, you know? And even during that time frame, I'm like, fam, I had a lot on my plate. I had no reason to hate on him. But no, yeah, he did put me in a predicament when it came to my content creating career. And that's one of those things where it's probably going to be one of the biggest what ifs is what or like, I guess more so, what would my channel be like? But not, well, I guess no, it still classifies as a what if. Like, what if that drama didn't happen and stuff? But no, yeah, it's like, what if that drama didn't happen, and where would my channel be at right now? Because I'm like, it's one of those things where I think that if I would have played my cards right, I think that I definitely will be in a much more better position when it comes to content creating. So, is he the blame? Possibly. Am I the blame? Possibly. Because, you know, there were days where I felt like I wasn't serious about content creating like how I should have been, you know, and I still have days like that. But I have to say now I'm in a much more better mental place than I was some years ago and stuff. Yeah, because it's like, you know, from the time frame when I was working in Seattle, wasn't really in the best headspace, wasn't even really that focused on content creating. You know, it was just more so kind of like a part-time thing. Then the pandemic happened, so I had to deal with those years, and I was going through some personal issues. So yeah, even then, it's like I'm focused on myself. And you know, there's some of his fans where I think they find that hard to believe. They find it hard to believe that a person doesn't think about just a robot. But it's like, when talking about him, what is there to think about? What is there to, discuss and all this other stuff? He's a racist pedophile. Like, and from this day forward, that's how I'm always going to refer to him. I'm just going to refer to him as a racist pedophile. There's literally nothing. Yeah, I guess you can hate the idea of who he is as a person, but at the same time, I'm like, fam, I don't gain nothing from that, So, and I just say that because, like, the main inspiration behind this episode is that, so if you guys remember a fan that I was dealing with earlier, or just a robot fan that I was dealing with earlier this year, threatening my life, all this other stuff, yeah, they've returned. I guess they're trying to make a comeback and stuff, and I'm like, fam, let it go. Move on. Like, go on about your business. It's funny how I start talking about this, though, that I'm moving on from the drama. Like, I have no reason to continue on talking about just the robot. I'm done. I'm leaving this situation alone. And then this fan, he just comes back up out of the woodworks, and he's like, oh no, I gotta keep the drama alive and stuff. And it's like, what do you gain from it? It's like, yeah, you might get your little 15 minutes of fame of me talking about you on my YouTube channel or on my podcast, but at the end of the day, it's like, it's eventually gonna end. Like, when you're watching that video, and it like it's gonna be an infinite played video and stuff. Eventually the video is gonna end. People are gonna move on to whatever else is going on in the world, and then that's it. So it's like, what do you overall gain from me talking about you? And that's even a question I would have to ask just the robot. It's like, what do you overall gain from me talking about you? It's like, I guess, yeah, you might gain my time and attention, but eventually, like I said, people move on. People focus on bigger and better things. And I think that's just overall the direction where content creating, at least for me, where it's heading at, is that there's bigger and better things to be focused on. So I have no reason to sit around, talk about just a robot. I mean, yeah, if people, I guess, if they want to hear my story and they want to invite me onto their platform, that's cool. If what else? Yeah, like, I guess, like, people want a story time or they want to know about certain situations and things, that's cool. But as far as dragging along the drama and stuff, like how I've been doing this past year, I can't do that, so, but, no, like, that is one thing that I did want to say, because I know there might be some people out there where they're like, dang, like, I really wanted to interview you for a, just a robot video. And I mean, yeah, and that's the thing where it's like, I gotta be careful with that, because there might be some just a robot fans where it's like, all they just want to do is just set me up with a call where they just disrespecting me and stuff. And most likely saying some racist pedophile things, just like just a robot. And yeah, I just, I gotta be careful with that, because yeah, it's a lot of his fans there still watching and stuff. And I know somebody, because it was funny, somebody had asked me that. There's like, this guy still has fans, yes, or he has fans, yes. Either way, whether he still has fans or gaining fans, yes. Just the robot still has fans, and it just trips me out that his fans are so passionate about being one of his fans. And that's, a question that I would have to say, to ask his fans. It's like, what do you gain from being just a robot fan in 2025 going into 2026? It's like, you gotta sit down and think about it. Fast forward to October of next year, it's gonna be 2 years. Do you, since all this like drama between him and the rest of the internet started, do you really see yourself gaining any higher position than where you're already at in this just a robot circle? So like that's one of those things where it's like, think of your life, I guess, outside of being a just a robot fan. And if there's nothing that you can chase after, if there's nothing that you have in your life that can put you in a much more better situation than being a just a robot fan, then it's like, you really have to sit down and think about it. And I guess, like, I don't know, like, I felt like I was getting ready to say something a little disrespectful, but at the same time, it's like, what are you doing with your life? I feel like that's probably the best possible question that I could ask, because it's like, if you're going out of your way willingly being just a robot fan, you're living a sad life. You are. That's not even on no stuff where it's like I'm saying that because I'm trying to be funny or no, like, I'm being dead serious when I say this. Like, you are living the saddest life possible if you're willingly going out of your way to be just a robot fan. I'm not saying you gotta be a fan of me, but there are so many different content creators, whether they're small content creators, big content creators, where you can, on multiple platforms at that. I'm saying, like, fam, go, follow a small streamer on Twitch playing your favorite game. I'm saying, like, and it's one of those things where it's like, whether it's a newer game or an older game, fam, whether it's YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, Kick, it doesn't even matter. But it's like the fact that you're going out of your way, starting up your computer, opening up Just a Robot's channel, and I guess, or then searching his name up, and it's like, oh, TMossBoss is talking about him. Oh, now I gotta hate on TMossBoss. That's just sad, bro. Like, it's one of those things where I'm like, man, people, you really, and I mean really, have to sit down and think about it. Is it worth it, okay? Being a Just a Robot fan going into 2026. It's not. And and I guess, like, if I could take the time and moment to explain why it's not really, I guess, I can't really say like a good idea, but more so it's pointless being a Just a Robot fan, because he's not. The thing is this: if you're expecting 2016, 2017, like that era of Just a Robot where he was really growing as a content creator and stuff, if you're expecting that version of Just a Robot, you're never gonna see that version of him again. Like you'll have to go back and watch them old videos in order to see that version of Just a Robot, because he's built a reputation about himself. Now, if you support the racism and him being a pedophile and all that, then yeah, like this guy that I was dealing with earlier this year, I'm starting to think now that yeah, he might be I think he said some racist things about me and stuff. So yeah, I guess the only thing that we need to ask him now is like, are you a pedophile? Because I'm like, then I guess then that would make sense on why you're being so passionate about attacking me and just being a weird stalker and stuff. Like, I mean, this guy done commented on multiple channels of mine, follow me on social, I think I just seen that he has social media accounts, but I think he followed me maybe when all the stuff between me and him started, but earlier this year. But I blocked him, and I was like, I don't want that. I don't want that in my life. It's like, it's negative. I don't want to be a part of that. It's like, if you're upset about me calling him out for being a pedophile, it's like, okay, well, that's what I do. I call people out on stuff like that, So yeah, it's like, you can't be mad at me for calling somebody out on something where I'm like, fam, like, he should just, when you sit down and really think about somebody like Just a Robot, they don't need to be out in the public. They need to be behind bars. Like, it's funny how I just remember him saying that about me, where he was like, the next video he makes about me is if I go to jail or something like that. I'm like, fam, you're more likely to go to jail based off of your track record on the internet. I'm saying, and it's like, with all the different racism and pedophile talk surrounding you, it's one of those things where I'm like, you really have to sit down and look at yourself in the mirror, talking about Just a Robot and even his fans himself. Really sit down and take the time to just look at yourself in the mirror. What do you see? Because, yeah, you might see a person that you're okay with being and stuff, but the rest of the world, they're going to look at you and be like, yeah, this person ain't right. Like, no, something's seriously wrong with them, So, yeah, that's why I'm like, man, it's just being in, like, I guess, like, stuck in that vortex, just being stuck in that circle of constantly having to go back and forth. I can't do it. That's why I'm like, I'm hurrying up, getting everything that I need to say before the year is over with, because yeah, we got a few days. Next thing you know, we in 2026. I'm not trying to have it where this past year is a repeat, where I'm just doing nonstop content and things. And that's the thing, like, I didn't mind doing the content, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, it's a waste. I feel like for the most part, I'm saying things that people already know. A lot of people already know that Just a Robot is a racist pedophile, So it's like, I just think that that's such a weird combo. I've never really heard of that before, but no, yeah, it's like, it's one of those things where I'm like, with Just a Robot, because I just remember when he had, it was that whole thing that came out where he asked a minor for inappropriate art. And it's like, what was the race of this minor? If you don't mind me asking things, because I feel like if the minor, Just a Robot, you will never catch him talking to a black minor. It's probably even that minor that he said he's seen at the pool. I guarantee and I promise you, it wasn't a person of color. I'm like, the way that Just a Robot and his fans, how they act, I can tell that they're not fond of people that are of color and stuff. So yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, it's just, I find it extremely funny though, how him and his fans, they try to call other people out on stuff. But I'm like, have you guys took the time to look at yourself and your guys' circle? It's like, if there's anybody, I guess, like, that I've watched this year that's talked about Just a Robot, where him and his fans wanted to say, because the funny thing is, you won't see them having this same energy with, like some of the other people. They only want to have this energy with me. And the funny thing is that, like, when you sit down and you look at everybody else that's talking about Just a Robot, I'm not really trying to play no race game, but I'm just saying, I feel like that I be getting the worst end of the stick when it comes down to talking about Just a Robot. But they ain't having, his fans ain't having the same energy with a lot of different people out there that's talking about them. All right, that's just an observation. But at the end of the day, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, or maybe it's a conspiracy. I don't know. But it's one of those things where I'm like, I find it odd. I find it extremely odd, but then they try to look you, or I guess type to you and be all like, oh, I'm not a racist. But you guys say and do racist things. Like, so what is it? It's no longer that saying, if it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck. Like, oh, if it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it therefore makes it a Ford Mustang. Like, that's their logic. Like, that really is their logic. That's like, no, it doesn't, that doesn't make sense to us that we're racist. And it's like, okay, well, look at how you guys are acting. I'm like, and then just the person that you're acting like that to, it's like, fam, I mean, sit down and think about it. So yeah, that's why I'm like, man, it's funny. But at the same time, yeah, even seeing all of that, even seeing that, Just a Robot and his fans, they're a bunch of racist pedophiles and stuff. It's one of those things where I'm like, I still can't have no hatred in my heart towards them, So yeah, I can't, I guess, like, yeah, who they are as a person is disgusting, but at the same time, I'm like, I just can't have that darkness in me, where I'm just sitting around hating on somebody. Oh, if I see them, I gotta get angry. If I see them, I gotta, yell all these, things. I'm like, the life that they choose to live, I'm like, that's just, I guess if that life leads them into a path of destruction, that's on them. They ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm living my life. That's all that I care about, So yeah, whatever him and his fans got going on, I'm like, that's on you guys, but they ain't got nothing to do with me. So, but anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow or subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service, and peace.